Alright guys, in this video I will be reacting to and debunking the claims made in this ridiculous video that serves as a sad attempt to refute the widely accepted theories of evolution and natural selection. I must make it abundantly clear that, as the title suggests, I'm not even remotely qualified to talk on the subjects of biology or evolution. But I'm making this video to show that even I, a high schooler with zero college education, can disprove the nonsensical claims put forth by this video. And also, before I get on with the video, I have to tell y'all that less than 4% of my viewers are subscribed. Subscribing is guaranteed to make you a lot cooler, and if you'd like to see me clown on more dumb people on the internet, then I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Alright, enough begging for charity, and I hope you enjoy the video. I also want to clarify that this video will not be an attack on any religion or religious beliefs held outside of any that support the ideas of creationism over evolution. I believe that any direct attacks on religion as a means of trying to make opposing beliefs seem unintelligent is irresponsible, and will only make people more strongly rooted in their beliefs. The video that I will be attempting to debunk is titled Destroying Evolution in Under 3 Minutes by the channel Deniers and Genesis. Given that thousands, if not millions of people work around the globe in fields that depend on the existence of evolution as a means of doing their work, it is an extraordinary claim to make that the culmination of the work of millions of scientists can be refuted in a video that's just over 2.5 minutes long. Any and all sources I assessed in preparation for this video will be linked in the description. If there's anything that I saw that needs clarification, please let me know in the comments and I will pin all additional information. Without further ado, I'm going to start the video, and I'll be pausing every single time I have input. I'll try not to cut in and misrepresent their viewpoints.
You hear this one a lot. Science has proven evolution, therefore evolution is true. Since evolution is true and Christians don't believe it, then Christians don't believe science and they aren't rational people. Really, let's put that claim to the test.
Alright, not even 10 seconds into the video and there's already a glaring issue. The argument that he's attempting to make is a logical fallacy known as a straw man argument. Actually, I could even argue that there are two straw man arguments in the first 10 seconds. The first one is the statement that scientists believe that Christians are not rational people. There are two glaring problems with this statement. The majority of Christians today believe in the theory of evolution, so it makes zero sense for scientists who agree with a majority of Christians to believe them to not be rational. And on top of that, there are tons of people who are both Christians and scientists, and I highly doubt that those people would consider themselves irrational. Another less obvious one is the use of the heavily outdated graphic that depicts humans evolving from apes. When attempting to disprove another viewpoint, you absolutely cannot use wording or graphics that are highly outdated. Humans did not evolve from apes, but they evolved from a common ancestor. I believe that the wording in these claims is manipulative, because many of the people watching will be creationist Christians, just like Deniers and Genesis, and saying that the scientists find them irrational is designed for them to dislike and mistrust scientists further.
First off, evolution in the sense that things change is evident. No rational person disputes that. Therefore, rational Christians believe it. We can observe change. But evolution in the sense that life came from non-life and then that life began to randomly generate new genetic information and over time it eventually produced humans is something entirely different.
This next point that he brings up is one of the main points that he sticks with for the entire video, but it is entirely irrelevant and makes absolutely zero sense to include in this video. He claims that abiogenesis, the process of life coming from previously non-living matter, is not explained by evolution. He is completely correct in this statement, but literally nobody claims that evolution itself explains the origin of life, and it only explains the changing and mutating after the creation of life. The topic of abiogenesis holds zero relevance to the topic of the theory of evolution.
Something that quite honestly doesn't hold up against science. In other words, evolution in the sense of molecules to man is not scientifically plausible and therefore...
Hopefully he'll elaborate further, but he could at least attempt to provide the tiniest explanation to back up this claim. Simply saying it doesn't hold up against science is a complete nothing burger of a statement.
Of course, should not be viewed as scientific fact. Quite honestly, it is in great opposition to science, that is, observational science, the kind of science we can test and repeat and use our 5 senses to understand. Science demonstrates that over time, living organisms lose...
This next point has me seriously questioning if this man even did the smallest inkling of research in preparation for this video. Literally anybody born in the last few decades is aware of DNA testing, and he can directly observe the random mutations that occur from generation to generation. When DNA is attempted to be replicated, there's always a possibility for some type of mutation to occur, and this can be studied across any family tree or any life form.
Information. They don't gain it. That same science demonstrates that life doesn't arise from non-life. Follow along if you would. Fact 1. There is no known observable process by which new genetic information can be added to an organism's genetic code. None.
I'm going to seriously consider filing a lawsuit against this channel for causing irreparable damage to my brain as my neurons struggle to cope with the pure stupidity of this statement. This man has clearly demonstrated his lack of any knowledge on the subject, and we're barely a minute into the video. Mutations occur during reproduction, and mass mutations won't just dramatically occur while you're alive, and nobody claims that. You are not a Charmander. Furthermore, if you believe that the genetic codes do not mutate, then how could you possibly begin to explain same species of asexually reproducing organisms? If they just clone their DNA, and their offspring have slightly different genotypes, then there is no other explanation besides random mutations. I don't even know how to refute this further without just stating that he's wrong. They produce new mutations from generation to generation, so claiming that they can't change is just not even misleading, it's just entirely false.
None. That pretty much refutes evolution right away, because there's no way to go from a fish to an amphibian without adding new information, right? If living organisms cannot produce new genetic information, how can anything gradually change into something of higher intelligence or form or complexity? That is, how can anything evolve from an amoeba to a man without adding new genetic information? The answer, of course, is that it can't. Plain and simple. Now, some have speculated and they've imagined all kinds of things, and they brought in artists to produce creative renderings based on guesses, and they have been successful in telling a very convincing story that humans evolved from ape-like creatures. But
I will give them the benefit of the doubt here because of the usage of ape-like, because he is at least implying that the theory of evolution has them sharing a common ancestor and that humans are not evolved from apes directly, which is correct.
those are just drawings, people. They're just stories. But what we really observe is humans are humans and apes are apes. Now, if fact 1 buried evolutionary thinking deep into the Precambrian soil, this next fact, fact 2, tosses so much sediment on it that not even the greatest team of paleontologists with the latest subterranean gizmo could dig up the remains. Check this out.
Well, now he's got me excited. Using a million unneeded adjectives to fill up the 2.5-minute video instead of filling it with actual evidence is an ingenious plan.
Never, again, never has it been observed that life can come from non-life. So here are 2 major scientific evidences against evolution. I reiterate for clarity, life has never been observed to come from non-life, and there is no known, observable process by which new genetic information can be added to the genetic code of an organism. So molecules to man evolution doesn't really make scientific sense. Yet we are all here, and life is all around us in various forms. Although evolution cannot account for this, the Bible can. The Bible reveals that the all-powerful, all-knowing, supernatural God created the heavens and the earth out of nothing, and all life according to its kinds, that is, each with its own set of genetic information. So
after revealing that he was going to find some other grand point that has gone over the heads of millions of people with 12 times his intelligence, he gives absolutely nothing besides reiterating the same 2 points that he'd already made that made 0 sense. And again, I'm not going to belittle or insult any religion, as that would be completely unproductive and needlessly antagonistic, but citing a source that is over 2,000 years out of date as a means of refuting scientific evidence is laughable. People had absolutely zero concept of DNA at the time, and only had surface-level knowledge on biology as a whole. So how can anything regarding DNA be refuted by it?
again, what the Bible reveals makes sense of what we see and understand. Evolution does not. Enough said.
Well, we finally reached the end of that incredibly painful video, and now I feel like I want to naturally select myself out of the gene pool because of the sheer stupidity I just witnessed. Thank you all for watching.